Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of And Now You Know with Betty and Jules. I'm Betty.
And I'm Jules.
And today we're going to be talking about prioritizing. So this is a continuation from a previous episode, which was called If He Wanted to, He Would. And we were talking about, choosing somebody that wants to prioritize you in their relationship. So we've had so many things come up over the last couple of weeks, and we felt like we needed to dive into this one a little bit more.
And we both had experience with jobs, relationships, friendships, all these things that it's pretty clear that you are not a priority. And I think it's most important that you be the priority in your romantic relationship. Because if you're not, then there could be some warning signs of codependency or codependency. Just flat out codependency, that if you're thinking that there's a treatment that you're getting that makes you feel kind of less than, then that's a problem.
So, okay, now you just made me think. So I'm going to throw in a couple different kind of angles, and then let's dive deeper. Because what I think about in being prioritized in a relationship, pardon the glare, there's this thing going on right now.
The sun's moving because we're going into winter, actually.
Yeah, and the blinds are creating this.
So anyway,
so that's what's going on here, right here. So it makes me think of being prioritized, but there's different things that happen in different types of relationships. And so when you're single and you're starting out, 20s, 30s, whatever, and what I'm thinking
about...
Look at
that light right on your face.
What? This one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's... Okay, this is going to really irritate me today, but anyway, we're just going to keep going. But when you're single, I feel like, and never been married, no kids, new relationship, whether it's out of college or later in life, whatever, but, you guys are each other's priority, right? And you're trying to figure out what that looks like, what that relationship is going to look like, what it's going to blossom into. I feel like at that point, if you are not each other's priority, I mean, that's a really big problem, because there really isn't anything else that has been thrown into your life. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe career, maybe you have, big aspirations. Maybe there's a lot of commitment required for the type of career path that you're going. I can understand that kind of stuff. And I can also understand, sacrificing short-term for long-term gain when you're like, whether you're in law school, whether you're in med school, whether you're like, climbing the corporate ladder, but within reason. I don't mean completely ignore your person. But the one that I think where we have had a lot of experience and maybe disappointments is, when you're trying to figure out your chapter 2, or when you're navigating through a relationship where now I feel like where we are in life, now there are kids involved, now there are exes involved. Now there are all these new variables and factors where I feel like this is where you really have to figure out and pay attention. Can you prioritize your person?
And you have to figure that balance out, because, I'm a firm believer in God first, then your marriage, then your children, and then your job. And it can get real delicate in trying to balance all that, because if you're with somebody that doesn't have kids, they're not going to understand you needing to do the things that you need to do to be a responsible, loving parent to your children. Mm-hmm. So, you just have to pile in all the stuff that we talk about, being equally yoked, creating work-life balance,
the list,
all the things that you have to pay very, very, very close attention to, because I, again, am speaking from a place of experience and did not do that multiple times and ended up in a big, huge mess where I was just constantly told, you love your kids more than you love me. Well, I love them a lot, and my love for them is different than the love that I feel for you. It's not anything that can be compared to. But in all honesty, maybe I was wrong. I would have chosen my children because they can't take care of themselves yet. If you left your boyfriend or your husband or whatever in a field and a baby who's going to survive? I mean, you have to take care of the kids.
Well, okay, so
it's tricky.
it's tricky. However, any man, specifically because you're a woman and we're talking about a dude, any man that says that to you and asks you that question or tries to create this competitive thing, I already have an issue with him.
Oh,
I already
unfortunately,
have
I
an
was
issue with
already
that
married to
conversation.
him.
Yeah.
So that was, but again, there were plenty of red flags that I completely ignored for 3 whole years
Yep.
and married anyway. And just, you've got to pay attention to the red flags.
So as you're talking, there was a post on social media that literally just popped up over the last couple days. So I'm gonna throw it out at y'all because I thought it was really interesting, and it's exactly what you just said. So the order, basically, what it said was it was a guy asking another guy. You know how like those people on the street give you a mic and they say rank these, and it was your wife, your daughter, your mother. And so the guy gave another guy the mic, and there was two, and I would say maybe mid late 20s, but young guys, gave them the mic. They both said that their daughters would be first, their mothers would be second, and then their wives would be last. And one of them even said, as he's chuckling through it, well, I could get another wife.
Oh, see, that is the way society is now.
Those guys
Marriages
should
are
never
disposable.
get married. Those guys should never get married. And those guys should never have daughters. Because
Probably not, because they're going to
screw them
show
up.
her. They're going to end up picking a man just like him who isn't going to choose her first.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. You've got to get with a guy who makes you number one.
Yep.
Period. I mean, because if it's done right.
And you should also make him. It's
Right.
both of you. It's not you make me number one and you know, and I am. Yes, of course, you're supposed to prioritize yourself.
I mean, don't be needy.
Don't be
weird.
It should be that we are in this together. We both want to be each other's person, right?
But then you both make your kids the priority.
Yes, together.
Yours, ours,
together.
And it you've got to figure this out, because if you make each other the priority, then you team. And I always talk about how Jay and I kind of have a bubble around us, a protection bubble. And that doesn't mean we live in a fake world or an opalescent world. That's a boundary that we have created in our marriage, because we've got 2 children with special needs. They're adults now, but one lives with us, one's in a group home, but they're always there together on the weekends. So if Jay and I didn't have these boundaries then in this balance, it'd be real hard to not get upset over things that go on all the time, constantly. But if you team and you make each other that priority and you're taking care of each other, then there's something very solid and a union that helps you together deal with those things together, instead of butting heads and fighting each other on them.
Right.
And feeling resentful and like, am I going to have to take care of your kids?
Right. There's so much I want to say right now.
Okay,
I feel like my head's about to explode.
Do it.
No, but it's true. It's true that like if you're not in team mindset, if we're not tackling this together, then why would you be in a relationship? Because if anything, that relationship is going to cause you more stress if you guys are always fighting.
Right.
And then you have all this chaos going on around you. That doesn't help anybody.
No.
Because now these kids are seeing all this they're feeling all this tension. They're seeing 2 adults that can't get along, that aren't partnered up to take care of stuff. I feel like that's actually a huge disadvantage to everybody in the household. So I agree with you completely.
Well, and add a narcissist to the equation, and then you add kids.
Yep.
And man, you have got a situation that's going to become very dangerous, quite frankly.
Yep. So I'm going to rank the 3 of how I think it should be. And if any guy wouldn't rank it in this order, they wouldn't be my person. Absolutely not.
I'm going to test you and see if
Okay. Wife is first.
Yep.
Wife is first. Daughter is second. Mother is third.
Yep.
Now, I saw another clip and this was also on social media, and it was actually they weren't even married yet, but they did live together. So it was this guy and this girl. They lived together. There were a couple of kids. I'm not sure if they were her kids, his kids, or their kids. I'm not sure. But it was the guy putting his kids in the car in the back seat. They're younger kids, probably 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
2 of them, putting them in the back seat. And then his mother and his girl were walking up both to the front door. The girlfriend got in first and she sat down. The mother opened the door and said, "You need to get out." The guy finished, loading the kids, and then he walks to the front and he says, "My mom is coming with us. You need to sit in the back. She's sitting in the front." And then the lady says to the girl, "Well, you guys aren't even married yet, and so, you need to sit somewhere else because that's my seat." Now, let me tell you, the guy told her to move. And she got out of the car, she went and got her car and decided to Now, let me tell you, okay, I see 2 things here. Bravo to her.
Yep.
100%.
She does not deserve
Bravo
that.
Bravo to her.
No.
She does not deserve that.
He's showing her who he is, and she's believing him.
Right. Now, the second part to this is I hope to God that she doesn't marry him, because that right there is a preview of what's to come.
And I can tell you that I may have made that simpler for my man because I want to make him priority too. And I probably would have insisted that the mother sit in the front seat because that's who I am. Mm-hmm. And did she have to climb all the way in the 3rd row seat, or could she sit in the back?
I mean,
seat
she could. It was a sedan, so she could have
Okay.
sat in the back. But I think
it's his posture in it that makes it so wrong.
Yes.
And I already know. I mean, I've got this beautiful daughter-in-law, and when you have boys and they get married, you really, the biblical scripture is a man shall leave his mother and a woman leave her home, and that happens. And
what is it? What is the word? And cleave
only to her.
Only to her. They start their own family.
Yep.
Everybody else is an extended family.
Yep.
But this is where I feel like, and by the way, if you've never watched the movie Think Like a Man, you know that movie?
Is that
the Steve Harvey movie?
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, he wrote a book, and it was all about dating, and it was I think it was Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. I think that's what it was called. But
I need to watch the movie.
But the movie was called Think Like a Man. But the whole thing is that there are different types of men, and he talks about the different type of men, and one of those is the mama's boy.
Yep.
And in that case of that guy, he 100%, yes, you want a man that loves his mother. Yes, you want a man that is respectful.
Well, you see a man and how he treats his mother is how he's going to treat his wife. And I believe it with everything.
Yes, I think that's absolutely important. However, his mother should not be above you, the wife.
No.
I think that is a really, really big problem. Yes, mothers do have a responsibility to kind of train their boys, right?
Yeah.
And so do their dads, because they see the example of how their dad is treating their mom.
Yep.
So yes, I do believe that. But there is a disconnect there when they're now men, and they're now going into a relationship, and they're now asking a woman to marry them. You're saying, I will now be your protector, your provider. We will build our whole life together, and it's me and you refuse to ditch the mom. Well, when you prioritize your mom over your wife, that's where the problem comes in. Not that you have to ditch your mom.
And I am proud to say that my son, who is married, has done that. And and moms, don't interfere with that. You want your kids to be happy. And Jay and I want to pour into these marriages. We've also got our daughter, and she's married. And we pray over these households, these marriages, and we pray for peace, love, and joy. A marriage is designed for the man to love the wife and for the wife to respect the husband. And this is scripturally, that's a hard word to say, based also. And it's just the design, love and respect. And so if you focus on those, then you are going to be the priority. But moms need to, especially boy moms, because it's hard to see that girl come in, but not if you've been praying for her and you've been praying for her heart and for his heart and for that love to be strong. And then you see God's glory and what he blesses your entire family with if you respect that marriage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I adore my daughter-in-law, and she is an absolute reflection of how much better God's plan is than mine could ever be. Because what I visualize, she's way more than that. You know, you've seen her.
She's great.
She's
we love
amazing,
her.
and I don't. There have been conversations about different things. They've been married now for 3 years, but they've been together for about 10. And you know, they've lived in California. They moved here, and they've asked me before when certain things come up, are you upset that we've made this decision? I'm like, absolutely not. This is your marriage, and you've got to decide what y'all need to do to make your marriage strong. And so that car situation, he took the wrong stance. I think the girlfriend took the wrong position. She should have
leaving?
No, not leaving. I would have left if he had spoken to me in that tone, but out of respect for the mother, I mean, I personally would have said, I want you to sit in the front seat with him. Yeah. I mean, that's just how I am. So
I hear what you're saying.
Enjoy your son.
I hear what you're saying. I think there are other factors
I do
in there.
too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He handled it. He could have said, honey, would you mind if mom rode in the front seat? Would that be okay with you? Yeah. There's just so many other ways that he could have protected her heart and not made her feel so insignificant.
Well, I also, you're right about that. You're right. However, I don't know. Here's the part that I really, just watching the video and really not knowing anything about their background, that mom was very aggressive.
Well, and she was wrong too.
Was very disrespectful to that girl. So for me personally, no, I don't know that I would have approached it. I mean, she wasn't even thinking. She wasn't doing anything harmful at all. She just got in the car and sat down because that's where she normally sits. Yeah. What I didn't like was how the lady, the mother, how she approached it, how she spoke to her.
Right.
And with that tone, the son jumps in and defends his mother.
Well, the girlfriend is better off getting out of that because that is a situation where it's just going to be a constant battle. Yep. And I've seen so many friends and relationships. It doesn't have to be a battle. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but have these conversations early on and ask them to rank the 3.
And
any
be aware.
guy you're dating, ask him to rank the 3.
Yep.
If he ranks his mother first, get out while you still can. Mm-hmm. If he puts his daughter, then his mother, then wife or girlfriend at the bottom, oh my gosh, that is the craziest thing ever.
You don't want to be at the bottom.
Absolutely not.
I was at the bottom repeatedly.
No way. Mm-mm.
Now I'm at the top. God's first than me. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, there is a big, huge, inexplainable difference. And just be aware of yourself and your own, I don't know what the right word is. Realize what you deserve. Realize the treatment that you deserve in the relationship. Mm-hmm. You're creating a home. You are giving of yourself, your time, your talents, your treasure, your body, your intellect, all of this. And so be sure that you're getting what you deserve in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here's another example that I've also seen many times, and I'm sure everybody can relate. You've seen those gender reveal videos, where they're revealing if they're having a boy or a girl, and you see the mother of the son run into the shot and jump onto their son.
That's gross.
That is so. First of all,
I have not seen that.
Oh, I've seen. I'm going to send you some.
The grandma,
the mother. So the mother of the guy,
the dad, the soon to be dad,
dad.
That is disgusting.
Yes. So these moms, and here's the part that really.
I'm sorry, Betty. That's so. I've not seen that.
It's horrible.
That's
horrible.
Gross. That's gross.
It's infuriating to me. So
it's
the first
their moment.
It is their moment. So number one, you're ruining their moment by literally jumping in their moment and wrapping whether you're wrapping your legs, which I've seen it.
That's gross.
Wrapping your legs around him, or you're just jumping on him.
I think it's
him.
almost gross for just the girlfriend to do that, but I don't know.
Well, so these moms have done it. So I have seen two different scenarios, two different videos. Well, I've seen multiple, but these two that I think did it right. This one guy, he was hugging the wife, and his mom was walking towards them, basically to jump in the mix, and he put his hand out.
Good.
He put his hand out. He did it right. He put his hand out, and he was basically like, let us have our moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that was the right thing to do. And then there was another one where they put themselves, the guy and the girl, they put themselves in this bubble.
I love it.
And so nobody could jump in.
I like it.
And, mess with them during that moment when they found out. They did like fireworks and, that whole kind of poof powder and whatever. And they were in a little clear bubble. And nobody jumped. So I think those people did it right, because I don't know why these moms feel like they need to jump in. Now, there was another video that I saw that, and I want to say they're probably from like somewhere, I want to say UK, because they did have an accent, right? So out there, an English accent, a British accent. And the mom, the mother of the soon-to-be dad, totally stole the spotlight, totally jumped in the middle, pushed the wife out of the way, jumps on the son, and totally steals the moment. And then you see the soon-to-be mom, super emotional, and she's trying to talk to her mother-in-law and tell her, what you did, it really hurt me, really made me sad. You stole our moment. This was about us. And then that woman was, the mother-in-law said to her, get over it. It's not that big of a deal. You're being hormonal. Like, totally.
You are entitled to feel the way that you feel.
100%.
Whether you are about to start your period, or that has nothing to
do with it.
No.
Here comes the problem. Here comes the problem. The soon-to-be dad defended his mom.
Oh, no.
He did not defend his wife. He did not defend the fact that his mother, the mother-in-law, the soon-to-be grandmother, jumped in the mix and completely robbed the joy of that. It was her first child. Child, gender reveal, here's their special moment, and she totally ruined it. His response to that, the way that he reacted, delicate. now I'm concerned for them. Because if he wouldn't even, he didn't stand up for her, he didn't defend her, he didn't even comfort her. He was sitting over there while letting his wife and his mom go at it.
Oh my gosh, that
not cool at all.
That's another question I have about what's going on with the men in this generation right now. Mm-hmm. We need to give them their masculinity back. Mm-hmm. We need to encourage our sons to be men. What's that saying? Strong men have weak men, and then weak men create strong men.
It's
and all that's out of necessity.
Yeah, there's a saying, oh my God, we butcher quotes so bad.
We really do. Every opportunity we get, we mess it up.
It is strong men create good times.
Oh yeah.
Good times create weak men. It's something along those lines. And then weak men. I can't remember the second part of that, but it was definitely about the strong men actually do something positive, but then the next generation, because they didn't have to earn it, they didn't have to, put in the whole blood, sweat, and tears. It's the entitlement thing. That's really what that whole quote is about. And so that's how I feel about these dudes. We've called them like, the man child before, but but it is true. There is something about it when you kind of lack in that leader.
Yeah.
If you aren't a leader, if you can't lead yourself, you have no business trying to lead a family. I feel like there's a whole generation. It's just different. It's not the same. Now, I'm not saying that they're all that way, because there are still some really, really great men. Absolutely. But as a woman, you have to be prepared. You have to know exactly what you're looking for, what you want your life to be. Do you want to be an at-home mom? And if that's the case, don't shack up with a guy who believes in 50-50 and that you should have a full-time job.
You were just telling me about a friend of yours who was in a relationship and now she's getting out.
Yeah. So, okay. This is 100% the title.
And it's hard. I mean, she's fallen in love with this guy.
Yep.
And if you've got to be aware of it and try to protect yourself and not allow yourself to get so wounded.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you guys this example. This is a real life example. We're not going to say any names, but if you are in a relationship, this is what my dear friend just learned the hard way. She is a single girl, no children.
She's never been married, has she?
She's been married,
Okay.
but no children.
Okay.
And she was dating a guy that has 2 teenage daughters. And it was going really well.
Until it
wasn't. And so here is where she had to learn the hard way, which breaks my heart for her, because she is the most amazing. I mean, she's awesome. She's not only is she a beautiful girl, she's a super smart girl. She has an incredible work ethic. She
saves all of her money. She's financially incredible.
super, super smart. She is a catch.
Yeah.
Like she is, I want her to find the most incredible man. But this is what I said to her. Somebody like her needs to date somebody that doesn't have any kids.
Right.
Just like I would say about me, I refuse to date any guy that doesn't have kids because we're at different stages of life. I feel like that's the mistake that she made.
They have to understand
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. So in her case, she met he's a wonderful guy, and they fell in love and,
Blah, blah, blah.
and blah, blah, blah. But what ended up happening was it all, like real life, kicks you in the face. And he has an ex, and he has 2 teenage daughters, and there's a lot of messiness behind the scenes.
There haven't been any true established boundaries set up.
Yes, so you don't have boundaries.
Yeah.
You have people like, that mother-in-law that we're talking about, and ex-wives do that too.
Yep.
So you have ex-wives that are meddlers, that can't let go, that will constantly still be grasping. And you know what? I dated somebody very briefly, dated somebody who had been married for 20 years. I was married for 20 years too, so I understand that, like, I still want you to have, I still have a good relationship with my ex, so I would hope.
Healthy for the kids.
Yeah, I would hope that they would have one too. But this guy that I was, again, very briefly, he and his ex, he would run. He would run every time she called.
They were divorced, but he had not cut that. He had not cut the matrimonial umbilical cord.
Totally right. And so for me, I felt like, why don't you
go? It was so weird.
Yeah, and I said this to Jules. I'm like, why? He needs to go move back into that house, because it was so odd to me that I met him on a dating app.
Yeah.
He wanted to date. He wanted to, be in a relationship away from that whole thing, but
he wasn't quite ready to be done with that relationship.
He was still energetically and mentally very married.
Yeah.
He was.
He gave everything to her.
He gave everything to her. He ran when she called. I absolutely...
He even said that if he won the lottery, he would give half of it to her.
He did.
That was so weird.
He did. So weird.
Why would you do that?
Very quickly, just in conversation, very quickly, those kind of things, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this would never work. This would never work long term. This would never work because, like, you haven't even detached yourself yet.
No.
He liked his whole, like, he wanted to keep the whole family unit, which, then why are you dating?
Right.
Why are you dating if you're still trying to do all that? Just go move back in.
Yeah, go do that.
Get remarried and go do that over there.
Well, and the crazy thing about it is that his kids were grown.
They were
adults.
They were. Yep, they were both in their
20s.
Yeah, it was early 20s, early mid 20s. But yeah,
but still,
lives at home still. in the house that the ex kept, that he still paid for,
weird.
It did not make sense to me at all. And I was thinking,
now you're dealing with the mother, you're dealing with the kids, ex-wife, and then you're fourth.
yes, exactly. That's exactly the problem. And
No.
so now that was my experience, which again, I recognized it really quickly. But for my friend that we were talking about, she also found herself in the fourth position because that ex-wife was still first. And those two daughters were still up here. Now, yes, take care of your children. Yes, of course. As a father, you still have to provide. You still have to emotionally, all the things, you still have to do all that. But just like you say with Jay, you have to have a level of understanding and agreement of what is it that we're trying to do here.
Right.
If you want your ex to be first, why are you dating? That's the part I don't understand. If you are still wanting to keep that whole thing, family
you're not
unit
ready
intact,
to be dating,
then maybe go, maybe try to reconcile and try to salvage that family unit so that y'all can live on the same, under the same roof and don't involve anybody else.
No, it's not fair.
It's not.
Don't. It's not fair. But keep your eyes wide open if you're dating and just make sure that you're in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't talking about in the sack. I'm talking about
right. If they aren't prioritizing you while you're dating, don't think for 1 second that you get married and everything is going to be better.
It's going to get worse.
Not. It's going to get worse.
To be real honest with you, because who they're showing you when you're dating, they get real comfortable and then they just, I don't know. They may just want you so you make them look good.
Yep.
A complete package.
This conversation has totally fired me up. There are so many things that keep jumping out to me. Like, oh no, but I keep doing that. But it's just, I feel like it's so crazy because unless you as a woman, unless you intentionally have this in your head and you have your eyes open and you know what you want for yourself and you know what kind of partner you want and you know what kind of commitment you're looking for and you communicate clearly, unless you're doing all of those things, either you're going to get sucked into a situation like this or you're better off single.
Which is the whole point.
You're better off single.
Which is the whole point of, and now with Betty and Jules, because we have lived through these scenarios. I've been married in these scenarios where I wasn't even close to being in a priority position. And so then you end up, as I've described myself, feeling as the shaggy dog, homeless dog, begging for a bone at midnight when the restaurants are shutting down. You're just begging for the leftovers. And that is not how you want to live your life.
This is when I say I'd rather be single forever.
I'd rather be alone all alone.
Be alone than alone in a relationship and be so lonely.
It's terrible.
So much more painful.
Awful.
When you have committed yourself to a person and they haven't committed themselves back.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
It is the loneliest place you'll ever find yourself because you are begging, and begging doesn't feel good. You feel completely unworthy. But so you've got to look in the mirror and say, why do I think I deserve this kind of treatment?
Why would I tolerate this?
Go back to your root. Go back to your pain point, whatever that is in your childhood or whatever causes your skin to burn or causes some kind of adverse reaction. And find out why that is your dysfunctional comfort zone and why you feel like being put on a back burner is your position in life, because it's not. And if you don't have a relationship like that, then you put yourself on the front burner and live like that for a while, and then you won't struggle with somebody not putting you on that.
And that's how I feel, because post-divorce, my entire journey, because before, we've talked about this before, how I used to be such a workaholic. I was the fixer. I prioritized everybody else. I was at the bottom of the list. I was the heaviest I had ever been. I was so depleted, so unhappy. We've talked about all this before.
Wiped out.
Totally wiped out. But I would show up with a smile on my face, and I would just continue to take on more, take on more, take on more, take on more.
Until I said, stop it.
Yeah. So all of this, all the journey, what it did for me was I learned how to prioritize myself. I learned how to put boundaries in place. I learned how to say no. I learned to do the things for me that I had been hoping and wishing and begging for others to recognize and do for me, but I wasn't even asking.
You have to recognize
because you don't even
it.
ask for what you need.
You have to recognize it.
This was previous me.
Yeah,
No more.
you have to recognize it in yourself, and then your posture and the way you present yourself to others lets them know that.
Yep.
And if somebody's
that you're no dummy.
Right. And if somebody does something that doesn't align with your position in your own life, then you just say, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, that when
can do what they want.
you have decided and you're committed to prioritizing yourself, you very, very quickly recognize it in somebody else, and you will not tolerate it.
You won't.
So that's the thing. It doesn't mean that nothing would ever happen to come up that might present itself that way. It just means that you are a huge hell no to it, and you won't do it.
Because you're making yourself the priority.
You're making yourself the priority.
Then automatically you'll be attracted to somebody who's going to make you a priority. Mm-hmm. Anyway, our timer went off.
Okay. Well, I don't know what episode this is, but I was about to say this is probably going to be episode 45, which we're really excited about, because as we add more, we are seeing our subscriber count continue to grow. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Please
and thank you if you have
Thank you
subscribed.
so much. Share it with people that you know, if this content would be impactful for them, positive, uplifting, inspiring, please share it with them. Okay, let me see. Comment section is below. I have all these different thoughts. Comment section is below, so please make sure that if you have any comments, feedback, you have any questions for us, or there's topics that you would like for us to cover, please add those below. And then we also have an email address where you can communicate with us directly.
If you don't want to put it in there, you want it to be more private.
If you don't want to, then it's more, private, direct to us, and we're the only ones that read it and respond to it.
Yep.
And that email is hello@bettyandjules.com, BETTE.
And JULZ.
And that's all for today. Thank you all for joining us, and we really appreciate your support and the time that you spend listening to us, and share it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.